Greetings and welcome back to the channel. We'll be talking about Crysis 4 in just a second, but if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want to be alerted to any news and updates regarding all the big titles like Crysis 4, as I will be doing coverage for this game and many more like it. And also, please engage with me, let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and please remember to smash that like button like you mean it. So just a small update to go on and a couple of things to mention involving Crytek and their newest development, which of course is Crysis 4. Now if you've never played these games, which is almost a sin in the gaming world, then you would have at least heard of Crysis or the powerful game engine called CryEngine. I mean, at one point just running the game was a kind of benchmark for PC owners that eventually became a meme for all PC owners looking to buy the latest hardware parts. But can it run Crysis? I won't go into detail about how mind-blowing the first game was, but they made 3 games in the series. The last was released back in 2013. For me, the first was by far the best, and after that they just sort of declined a little. I remember playing the third game and just not having as much fun, plus it had become a bit more of a linear experience as the games went on, but still all 3 fantastic games though. Since 2013, however, the studio have been heavily invested in a magnificent battle royale game called Hunt Showdown. If you haven't played this solid gem yet, it's pretty cheap to pick up on Steam these days, I'm sure. So it's 2 or 3 player teams and up to 12 players max in a big, beautifully crafted late 1800s maps. The goal is simple: to kill the monster bosses, collect their bounty and live to fight another day. The PvP is what really makes this game unique, as most guns take a while to fire and even longer to reload because of the chosen time period, and all this with the CryEngine graphics, what's not to love? Okay, so moving on to Crysis 4, what information do we have so far? Well, if we take a look at the only trailer available to us right now, there are definitely a few big clues that really pop out to me through the wonderful visual use of the Crysis nanotechnology that reminds us so very much of the suit our player wore and how it changed to perform different functions in the game. The trailer starts with flashing images of the sun and then what looks like a cataclysmic event on Earth, which may have something to do with the sun possibly exploding or sending out powerful solar flares. Or maybe the sun's energy has simply been used against us by the invading alien forces. Either way, it doesn't look good for humanity as we see the destruction of whole cities, and we even get a glimpse of what looks like the helmet used by Nomad. Nomad was the protagonist, of course, and person we play in the previous games. All we can do is speculate, but some outlets have reported that it could mean a kind of soft reboot for the franchise. This could kind of make sense if the trailer is interpreted as a visual message for starting fresh and beginning a new story. While it's also possible that the current story will just continue, and whether Nomad will be part of it or we play as someone new is uncertain for now. But you could say we are definitely a far cry away from the events of the first game. Sorry, that was terrible. Well, some of you will be really pleased to know that Crytek have hired Hitman 3's game director, Matthias Ingstrom, if that's how you pronounce his name, to lead the development of the sequel as game director. Although this probably isn't make or break for most people, but it is nice to know they are hiring experienced talent. It was actually back in January last year, 2022, when they finally put an end to one of the biggest questions on our lips. I wonder what Crytek are doing these days. And yes, they did indeed announce that they are developing a new Crysis game. The CEO, Anvi Yerli, had this to say on a blog posted on the official Crytek website. She begins by explaining that yes, the Crysis game is happening. But right now, of course, the game is in early stages of development, so it's going to be a while, but they are listening to the community also. Crysis has a proud history of working with the community to develop the games we want to play, and they simply want this new game to live up to all of our expectations. As the development progresses, they will give us more details as and when they can, but in the meantime they are working super hard to give us a truly next-gen shooter. They also say they're still working hard on Hunt Showdown and have some great things planned for us in that domain. And then they basically end the announcement by putting up a vacancy board for anyone that wants to join and help create the game. So no doubt many talented game designers applied for these roles, and there are quite a few tasty positions available, as we can see listed here. The real message put out to these new recruits and the fans was that Crytek does not just make games, they do research and development at the forefront of improving the gaming experience and have their own technology in the mighty CryEngine. And with every IP they have given us, all their games differ massively and are a joy to experience. I don't know about you, but this is heartwarming to hear, and I cannot wait to receive further updates and announcements from these wonderful people over at Crytek that just care so much about the games they create. If we look at what information there is currently to go on, there isn't too much just yet, but we can speculate on a potential release date being either late 2025 or most likely a 2026 release, if we're honest with ourselves. Most big games these days seem to have delayed release dates for one reason or another, and it was only in January of last year 2022 that they announced the game. Although you would assume that they've been doing a fair bit of planning and groundwork prior to that date, surely. Also, as the advertisements for jobs at Crytek are still online, then I would assume that they are still in the process of hiring whilst the game is being developed concurrently. Therefore, it would be a simple conclusion that for anyone still stuck with last gen consoles or a PC that still can't run Cyberpunk, it might be wise to start saving for an upgrade while you still have the time, as it's safe to say Crysis 4 will absolutely be running on the newest engine and will probably require the latest tech to achieve good frames. Personally, I'm finding that my 3080 Ti struggles with some of the new titles available now, and with the horrifying prices of Nvidia 4 series cards, well, at least I have time to save, as I said. Currently we have the CryEngine 5.7, but by all reports it seems that they will use Crysis 4 as their platform to showcase CryEngine 6. Many people have used CryEngine to create ultra-realistic environments to showcase on YouTube. I'm always amazed by the levels of photorealistic details that are displayed. I just can't imagine what the CryEngine 6 technology will produce, so start saving that cash, folks. I don't want to speculate too much further for now without any more information, but please look out for my future coverage of this game, because as soon as any new info drops I'll let you know. In the meantime, just in case you didn't know, all 3 Crysis games have been fully remastered if you fancied jumping back in or trying out for the first time. After all, they do come highly recommended. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves.